Astrology is a blessing to humanity. It blesses by divine revelations through the sacred knowledge on various aspects of life. Astrology is an art of interpreting the reputed esoteric influence of the stars and planets on human affairs. It is called a divine science. It enables one to peep into the mysterious future. It has branches like horoscope reading, palmistry, transit, prashna, varshafala, annual chart. So the most accurate one is the horoscope reading, which is linked to the date, time and place of birth of the individual. So the planetary position at the birth time is noted for interpreting the results of various planetary influences. Astrology is studied all over the world in one form or the other. There are different systems in operation. Widely read is the one given by Maharshi Parashara. So there have been numerous commentators, both classical and modern, and at the present juncture, the subject is being read by interested readers all over the world. Comprehension of the astrological knowledge from the classical text is difficult due to the numerous contradictions, inconsistencies, interpolations, and confusions that have crept in because of the absence of the print media and interpolations by its propagators from generation to generation. Our attempt through the empirical studies over the last 30 years has been to initiate the interested readers for easy comprehension of the subject. Dimensions of astrological knowledge. If you see, astrology has applications in the matter of health through preventive diagnosis, wealth, status, family relationships, entrepreneurship, properties, intellect, marital relationship, foreign residence, foreign travel, profession, business ventures, stock markets, speculative investments, and foreign investments. Helps in understanding all types of relationships, including the marital and business relationship. The basis of horoscopic analysis, if you see, ancient knowledge of astrology is based on the premise that the natal position of planets is dependent on the actions of previous lives of the human being. So the natal position of planets gives complete picture of the life of the person concerned. The planetary influences can be favorable or unfavorable. They can be helpful or can cause obstructions. It is believed that the horoscope, which is also called the natal chart of the person, tells us whether the malefic planetary influences can be warded off or reduced. It is believed that the strength of the weak planets can be harnessed to augment their full effects and to reduce the extent of miseries. Importance of horoscope reading. If you see, horoscope reading is as important as having a child immunized against dreaded diseases. Horoscope reading means reading of the divine message regarding the trends in the life of a person. No science on earth other than the horoscope reading can reveal the mysteries of life. The horoscope is a record of the planetary movement noted for the time and date of birth with reference to a particular place. Our lives are threatened with dreaded diseases for which we do not have a treatment in spite of the spectacular advancement in the medical sciences. The reason is that the worldly sciences cannot control the natural phenomena. The divine message offers remedies through astrological remedial measures. Majority of astral remedy seekers turn to the divine science for the help after fruitlessly trying all other worldly remedies. It is a pity problem faced can be in any of the spheres of life. It can be physical, psychological, material, or spiritual pursuits. We all believe in the phrase prevention is better than cure. Turning to astral remedies in the end puts us to an irre- irretrievable loss of time and opportunity for corrective measures in the beginning. Horoscope reading at the time of birth can guide us about the weak areas and the physical diseases to which one is vulnerable. Astral remedies are suggested which can save one from growth of cancerous diseases, addiction to drugs, or other simple means of intoxication, etc. See, the various aspects of human life are governed by the position of planets as noted down at the time of birth in the form of a horoscope. It is a weakness of planets that causes problems in life. The weakness of planets can be guarded against the use of astrological remedial measures. Identification of weak, afflicting, and afflicted planets is very easy, and the methodology has been explained as self-learning course. Elements of astrology. The divine science of astrology has four major elements that are signs, houses, planets, and planetary periods. So if you see the elements of astrology, the divine science of astrology has four major elements. The signs, that are zodiac signs, houses, planets, and planetary periods. It will be in the fitness of things if the four elements of the system are briefly discussed for developing the understanding for learning the ancient knowledge of astrology. So zodiac signs, the first element of the astrological knowledge is signs of zodiac. The zodiac signs are 12 in number. These are Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Cancer, Leo, Virgo, Libra, Scorpio, Sagittarius, Capricorn, Aquarius, and Pisces. So the signs are ruled by various planets. For example, the sign Aries is ruled by the planet Mars, while the sign Taurus is ruled by the planet Venus. Then Gemini by Mercury, Cancer by Moon, Leo by Sun, Virgo by Mercury, Libra by Venus, Scorpio by Mars, Sagittarius by Jupiter, Capricorn and Aquarius by Saturn, Pisces by Jupiter. So the second element of the astrological knowledge is houses. So these are 12 in number, and each of the 12 houses of the horoscope deals with specific significations. The significations of houses fructify under the planetary periods connected with them. For example, if you see, the first house rules personality in general and physical appearance. The second house rules the status, wealth, and family. So if you observe the first house, this house is called ascendant or lagna. Its lord is called Lagnesh. Generally, some people prefer to use this terminology, Lagnesh. It's generally the lord of ascendant. So the first house generally signifies life, longevity, because that's your physical appearance and physical body. So eighth house also decides the longevity, but we'll try to discuss that. Generally, it signifies life, longevity, self, health, nature, and appearance of native, complexion, vitality, sorrows, gains, and profits to younger brothers and his friends as well. So it governs head and face basically. This is the first house. The second house, if you observe, this house indicates inflow of finances, the bank position, right eye, family, early age or boyhood, speech, and sannyas, the servants and friends, self-earned wealth, loss or damage, worldly possessions, jewelry, grandfather and mother. It also denotes family, eyesight, understanding with family members, inheritance, lawsuits, throat, right eye, domestic comforts in general. Because that is the first house is your existence, and the second house is nothing but the resources that you are provided with basically. The third house denotes younger brothers and sisters and their relations as well. It signifies courage also. It's also called as Vikramasthana. Third house is called as Vikramasthana. The third house also indicates intelligence, education up to higher secondary level, means after your 10th standard, the 11th standard, uh, so up to your 10th standard you can say Jupiter, the third house indicates up to your uh, the 10th standard is your third house, and after that the 11th standard and 12th standard you can find it out by using fourth house. Fifth house is generally the bachelor degree. So taste of writing, ornaments, clothes, short journeys, signing contracts and documents. The body parts are generally arms, right ear, shoulders, right? So you can see education up to 10th standard, you can say, signifies courage, signifies your younger brothers and younger sisters. Ornaments, clothes, short journeys, short distance traveling is your third house basically. Whereas you see other traveling, and also the signing contracts and documents, it's also your third house. The fourth house, if you observe, this house signifies your mother, your property, conveyance, domestic surroundings and happiness, old age environments, private affairs, public, inheritance, false allegations, agriculture, land, its its products. It represents basically fourth house represents breast, chest, lung, to an extent stomach also, elbow joints, right? It's your fourth house. Fourth house is called as Sukhasthana, how much you get happiness in your life. If you have Rahu in your fourth house, generally, even though you have so many things, it's a kind of difficult thing to get happiness. So, in addition to Rahu, if you have any other planet which is a benefic planet, then to an extent you will get some happiness. So fifth house, if you observe, children, speculation, intellectual status, and luck are gauged from this house. Pleasure, love affairs, lady love, legal or illegal amusements, kidnap, rape, are also checked by using fifth house. Belly, basically the belly, heart, liver, spleen, these are the body parts governed by this particular house, this fifth house. Sixth house, if you observe, this house is responsible for enemies, health, service, servants. Right? Sixth house is called as, it is basically, it deals with your disease, it's your enemies, it's your health, service orientedness also can be governed by sixth house. Your servants, uncle, aunts, and relations on father's side basically. Also food to an extent, subordinates, debts, obstacles in life, mental worries, theft, and calamity. The body parts denoted here are kidney, large intestine, uterus, and anus. So all sixth house. You see the seventh house. Seventh house matters are regarding your spouse, basically your husband or your wife. Right? Partnership. Basically in business, a partnership is decided by seventh house. So external sex organs, right? The conjugal happiness also can be checked from seventh house generally. You see, to an extent, this sexual organs all come under eighth house. See that eighth house also, but to an extent, seventh house is also responsible for this. This house, the seventh house also denotes marriage, married life, love, contracts, litigations, divorce, right? These are all seventh house thing. Even your honor and reputation in foreign country can be decided by seventh house. The body parts are generally, to an extent, private parts come under this, and also uterus and glands, right? So that is the seventh house. Eighth house, if you see, the diseases, death, finances through unfair means something like bribery, and internal sex organs. Basically, the internal sex organs come under eighth house. The longevity, mental pain, obstacles, dowry that you get from your wife, right? That is also decided by eighth house. Gain from in-laws, mode of death, imprisonment, worries and privations are checked from eighth house. It indicates body parts as scrotum, pelvis, seminal vesicles, external genitalia, right? It's all eighth house. And ninth house is basically, it's the belief system. Ninth house decides your belief system, this religion, foreign travel, also decided by ninth house. Publicity. So third house is short distance travel, ninth house is foreign travel basically, and 12th house also indicates war lands. We try to see that. So ninth house basically indicates a foreign travel, publicity, receptor, higher education. Higher learning is seen by ninth house basically. Higher learning, higher education, even writing books, your faith, your belief system, your wisdom, prosperity, the powers of foresight, religious institutions, the providential help, right? The body parts are hips, thighs are the body parts that actually governed by ninth house. The 10th house, if you see, it's a most important house generally people say, because it indicates your father and also your profession. Ninth house relates mutual relationship with father, whereas 10th house is exclusively for your father alone. Right? Ninth house actually, with respect to you, what kind of relationship you may have with your father, that is ninth house. But whereas 10th house is your father alone. So the profession, your professional life, your karma, 10th house is called house of karma. The status that you achieve in your life, activities outside your house that you do, the pleasures, honor, power and authority, government favor, trade, business, command, honor, occupation. When adopted sons are seen by 10th house, all questions regarding worldly activities and moral responsibilities come under 10th house. Body parts are knees, joints, bones, hairs and back. And 11th house, if you see, this is called as house of gains or house of profit. It accounts for the accumulated wealth, elder brothers and sisters and relations with them. So you see, third house indicates your younger brothers and younger sisters, whereas 11th house indicates your elder brothers and elder sisters and the relationship with them. Friends, 11th house is house of friends. Fluctuating money gains, club or social activities, emotional attachments, love affairs and friends, honor, social success. The body parts are generally legs, left ear, teeth, ankle, etc. And the last house, that is the 12th house, signifies private enemies, pleasures of beds. That's the main thing. Pleasures of beds is always seen by 12th house. Lawsuits, imprisonment, secret works, moksha, hospitalization. 12th house is famously called as house of moksha. And conjugal relations with opposite sex other than legitimate, sorrows, debts, lost goods. All of them are judged by 12th house. Body parts are feet, left eye, teeth, etc. Generally, if Ketu is present in your 12th house, you may have some spiritual thinking, but you also need to see where the nakshatra lord of Ketu is present. Means if, let us say, if Ketu is in the 12th house in Vishakha nakshatra, suppose, then you need to check the position of Jupiter. Jupiter is also indicating some moksha house. Then you can say that Ketu can give you better spiritual thinking, better spiritual attainment in your life. So these are about the houses. If you see the planets, the third important element in astrological knowledge is planets. The planets signify various things. For example, there are so many planets, right? If you see sun, so sun signifies for the courage, power, the authority, the finances, ambitions, boldness, politician, commanding power, dignity, generosity and kind-heartedness, so optimism, administrator, general success, royalty, real love, personality of the native. So this is all decided by sun. Sun is father basically. Sun also gives you courage, power, authority, the kind of ego you have, the kind of finances, ambitions, boldness, politician in you is decided by sun. Commanding power, how much commanding power you have, that is decided by sun. Your dignity, your generosity, because all are kingly activities, your kind-heartedness even more, right? You're optimistic or not, you're administrator or not, general success, your royalty, your real love, right? Your total personality, right? Sun is your soul basically, right? So that is basically the sun. If you see another planet, the second planet, so there are 9 planets in Vedic astrology. There's the sun, moon, then you can see Mercury, Mars, then you have Jupiter, then you have Venus, then you have Saturn, and Rahu and Ketu, right? These are the 9 planets. And generally in solar system you can see Sun at the center, and after that you can see Mercury, after that, after Mercury, you can see Earth, right? So we're on Earth. So from the center, if you see Sun is at the center, then Mercury, then after Mercury you can see with respect to Sun, Earth, of course, Earth we are not calculating the nine planets because we are on the Earth. When we consider Moon, right? Then you can so Sun, Mercury, and then you see Venus basically, right? Sun, Mercury, and then Venus. Then you see Earth, then Moon. After Moon, you can find Mars, then Jupiter, then Saturn, right? Then of course Rahu and Ketu are shadow planets. So basically at the center you can find Sun, Mercury, Venus. Then you see Earth, and after Earth you can see Moon, Mars, Jupiter, and Saturn. So with respect to Earth, you can find Moon, Mars, Jupiter, and Saturn later, but before that you can find Sun, Mercury, Venus. So Sun, Mercury, Venus, they are considered as internal planets, whereas this Mars, Moon, Mars, and then Jupiter and Saturn. Saturn is the outermost planet, it's most extroverted planet, whereas Sun is introverted planet. Right? So that is a fundamental thing. So Sun represents that one, your father, your courage, your ego, the politician in you, the administrator in you. Basically, the king in you is decided by Sun. How much commanding power you have, right? And how much kindness, how much generosity, how much dignity, optimism, right? These are all things decided by Sun. The Moon signifies mother basically. It denotes softness, a charming eyes, studying mind, generosity. Only for females, it is the menses, right? Also, infants, love, pleasures, breasts, family life, beauty, watery places, and passions. Is all Moon, right? So, the Moon sign is very much important compared to the Sun sign. Means the nakshatra, because Moon is very nearer to Earth. So whatever, right, decided by Moon, whatever is decided by Moon, that is your fundamentally, that is your mind. Moon is your mind basically. Sun is your soul, Moon is your mind. So what you think is decided by Moon. Mercury is the planet of intellect, speech, memory, education, short travels, virility, wisdom, intuitive power, occult sciences, is all Mercury. It's a planet of intellect basically. Your intelligence is decided by Mercury, right? But your wisdom is decided by Jupiter. So Mercury is your intelligence, your logical thinking, your speech, your memory, your education. Right? So your academics completely decided by Mercury only. And your short distance traveling, your virility, your wisdom, intuitive power, your occult sciences capacity. So that is the Mercury. Then you can see Mars. Mars is sudden, it has sudden explosive nature, it's a disruptive action, it's the aggressiveness. Generally it's significator of rather energy, courage, ambitions, desires, your passion, your sexual passion, practical nature, accidents, cuts, wounds, operations is all Mars. Your self-confidence is also Mars. If Mars is very much good, the person is having a lot of self-confidence. Jupiter, if you see the Jupiter is significator of your children, your education, your wisdom, your religion, prosperity, fame, gain, good material, marital order, is a providential health, political power, good luck, finances, and long journeys. It's all Jupiter. So Venus is another planet. Venus is the planet of love and beauty, basically. It signifies harmony, so union, life partner, vehicle, ornament, sex appeal, a business, happiness, well-being. Signifies beauty basically, modesty, virtue, sincerity, artistic disposition, conjugal happiness, happiness that you get in marital life. So refined and polished nature. relations with opposite sex, attraction, love, passion, generosity, it's all decided by Venus. If you see Saturn, Saturn uh, is it's the planet of discipline, planet of focus and concentration. So is a the amount of hard work that you do is, if your Saturn is powerful, you are very hardworking. Seriousness, your conservativeness, longevity, your caringness, thoughtfulness, laborious, your violent behavior, your envious behavior, whether you are accumulator of wealth or not, right? So you're reserved or not. These are all decided by your Saturn. So Saturn is basically the karmic planet. Saturn is your karma. Saturn is your profession. Your profession is also decided by Saturn, not only by 10th house. Right? So whichever is powerful, you may choose that particular profession. Rahu and Ketu, if you see, Rahu and Ketu are shadowy planets. So they indicate your love affairs, your evil thoughts, your dissatisfaction, your fear, your harsh speech, your illegal things, pilgrimage also, denial of progeny, adoption of child, defective eyesight, delay, impediments, change of residence, so weak temperament, financial gain, jewelry, government position. These are all decided by Rahu and Ketu. So these are the planets, and these planets have aspects. Generally Saturn has 3, 7, 10 aspects, and then Jupiter has 5, 7, 9 aspects. Even Rahu and Ketu also have 5, 7, 9. Some astrologers think Rahu and Ketu are shadowy planets and they don't have any aspects, but in general every astrologer considers Rahu and Ketu having 5, 7, 9 aspects. Then Mars has 4, 7, 8 aspects, and then remaining planets have 7th aspect. So from wherever they sit, they can watch the 7th house. Right? If a planet is sitting in the 1st house, it can watch 7th house. If a planet is sitting in 2nd house, it can watch 8th house. It's a general behavior of any planet. So this is about planet. So Sun is your, right, just like your king, your kingly nature is all the things. Moon, the significator of mind, right? So you need to decide which planet is present where. So based on that, you can identify the nature. So the Sun is personified as a king in the planetary cabinet. So persons having the moon, the significator of mind, in the sign of the Sun would have the mental frame of enjoying life like a king, right? Thinking big. So moon is in the sign of Sun. So your mind, how is your mind basically? Moon is in Leo, let us say, the sign of Sun. Then the person thinking is like big, thinking big. What he can do, it decides upon, it is decided from other planetary position. But how is thinking? Moon is in the sign of Sun, so his thinking is big. So the Sun signifies father, husband, and children generally, right? So generally, Sun, first of all, Sun is represented with father, right? If Jupiter or Mars does not have enough strength, they do not have enough strength, then in a female horoscope you can see Sun also, right? So if Jupiter has less strength, then for children you may check for Sun also. If you have to know about the father of the person or about his or her social status, right, you would study the position of the Sun in the horoscope. How is the Sun? So you're given a horoscope and you need to understand the behavior of the father of that native, then you can check the Sun in the horoscope. The Sun also signifies heart, a stomach, as physical parts of the body. Similarly, various significations are attached to various planets. Sun and Moon are luminaries but have also been referred to as planets in our Vedic literature, especially astrological literature. Additionally, each planet governs the house in a nativity where its Mula Trikona sign falls. So Saturn's Mula Trikona is Aquarius, Jupiter's Mula Trikona is Sagittarius, Mars Mula Trikona is Aries, and then Venus Mula Trikona is Libra, then Mercury's Mula Trikona is Virgo, and then Moon's Mula Trikona and own house is only one, that is Cancer, and Sun Mula Trikona and own house is only one, that is Leo. Right? So Mula Trikona house is nothing but a duty performing house of a planet. So it's the most powerful house compared to the own house. So you can say Sagittarius is given much more priority to Jupiter compared to its own house, Pisces, because Pisces is like your Jupiter's own house, but Mula Trikona house is Sagittarius. Mula Trikona house is own house as well as duty performing house, so it's given more importance. So for example, if the sign Libra falls in the 8th house, Venus would rule the significations of the 8th house first, whereas the Sun and the Moon govern only one sign each. The remaining planets got two signs. Right? Each planet has one sign as its Mula Trikona sign, which helps in identifying the functional nature of each planet. Right? So Mula Trikona house is duty performing house, given much more importance. So planetary periods, the Vimshottari Dasa system we use. Parashara gave 120 years for human life, and he decided particular years for each and every planet. So Vimshottari Dasha system follow that. The fourth element of the astrological knowledge is planetary periods. So the planets give results of the significations or house ruled by them in their own sub-periods as per their strength in a horoscope. Suppose Jupiter is owning the 4th house and it's very powerful, let us say. Jupiter is very powerful, then means Jupiter is in the 4th house, let us say. Jupiter is very benefic planet for a particular horoscope, let us say. It cannot be benefic for everybody, it depends upon your ascendant. Let us say for a horoscope, Jupiter is very benefic and is sitting in the 4th house. Then in the sub-period, means in the Antardasha or Dasha of Jupiter, you can generally predict the native may own some property, or the native may make his mother very happy. The native may have more bliss or more happiness from his relatives, or a native may gain more vehicles, native may have more celebrations, because 4th house is responsible for all these things: relatives, happiness, mother, vehicles, property, your own house, the house that you are living in, right? And also the lands, agricultural lands. So you can predict that way. So those of you who would like to learn the terminology of astrology and the predictive techniques of the systems approach, you can understand this particular predictive techniques in this particular videos, in these videos that we are studying. Now, so what is ascendant? Basically, ascendant or lagna rising sign. So let's say a person is born and you saw in the east direction. So in the east direction, every sign appears, there are 12 signs, right? Aries to Pisces. So if you see in the east direction, whenever a person is born, then whatever sign you see, that is nothing but the rising sign, because in the east direction every sign stays for 1.5 hours to 2 hours. So when a person is born and you are seeing the east direction and you see, let us say, Capricorn, then you can say the person's rising sign is Capricorn, so that is the first house or ascendant or the rising sign. You can say lagna, right? So that person belongs to Capricorn ascendant or Capricorn lagna, you say. So the revolution of the earth around its own axis causes a rise of all the 12 signs in the east at different points of time during the period of 24 hours in a clockwise motion. The signs rise are basically, see, Aries first, then Taurus, followed by Gemini, so on and so forth, right? So the ascendant or lagna is that point in the zodiac which rises at the time of birth of a person with reference to the place of birth. The position of planets in zodiac is noted with reference to the earth. So the ascendant or the rising sign is the first house in a horoscope, or the rest of the houses are reckoned from there. So Rashi chart, basically we use a term called as Rashi chart. What is a Rashi chart? Which is known as a birth chart or natal chart. It can be drawn in many ways, but there are so many ways. See, you have North Indian style, you have South Indian style, you have East Indian style, right? So drawing charts can be done in different ways. So South Indian style and North Indian style. You have different styles, and even more East Indian style is also there. Right? So these are the basics of astrology. So, and the next video, try to understand more basics of astrology. Thanks for watching this video.